What's going on, YouTube? Hope everyone's doing all right, man. Keeping busy, staying out of trouble. And crazy to think we're into August already. I think today is August 4th. Another good day for a beer. Not a sponsor. For y'all that watch the SMA channel, y'all know the reference. South Main Auto channel. Super helpful content on that channel, but I just wanted to give y'all a short update. I got a couple things knocked out. A couple, actually, I should say just one, but obviously big one is motor and trans all put together. So good to go right here. Got it all bolted up. Obviously the bell housing was already bolted on. I actually ran out of bolts. So I got them here, here, and then I just got to get one right there, and then there's some bolt holes on the bottom. I got to go to the hardware store and get some grade 8 bolts. Get grade 8, guys. Don't get the cheap stuff. Grade 8 just talks about, grade 8 is just a specification for things like tensile strength, yield strength. You guys can look all that up, but grade 8 is the good stuff. These are grade 8 right here, holding the bell housing on. Grade 8 right there. So get the good stuff, guys. So it's a couple bucks at the hardware store. But yeah, obviously big one, engine and trans bolted up. And I wanted to take a video before I try and get it into the car. Obviously, because once it's in the car, you're not going to see any of this. So a couple things I wanted to talk about that I got to work on. This is one of them. This is the reverse lockout solenoid. All it is a, let me grab my light here. You can see it's only a 2-plug connector there, just power and ground. All it is a solenoid that is pushed out by default. So reverse in this transmission is over and up. So all it does is makes it real hard to get over into reverse. So I can feel the solenoid pushing back on my hand when I'm trying to pull it over. But you can wire that in just to have power and ground, and that solenoid will retract, and it makes it real easy to get into reverse. And the reason you do that is because you don't want to go down the highway, go to slam it in the 5th gear, but you miss and hit reverse. And I know they're off, but just to give you an example, that's 5th, and then I can't even pull it over with my little weakling hand here, but really over, up is reverse. And I know some guys delete the reverse lockout, but I don't want to do that. I think what I'll end up doing is just getting a pigtail and then wiring this reverse lockout into my brake light switch. So I have to be on the brakes to get into reverse, and that makes sense, right? Very rarely will you be on the brakes and the gas shifting into 5th and then mistake it and go into reverse. So just something to think about. This transmission comes with it, but I want to try and do that before I get the trans in the car. A couple other things I need to iron out is I think this is a plug for a dipstick. I'm not really sure. I got to figure that out. I got to figure out what this plug is for and what this plug is for. I think one of them is for the speedo, but I'll have to deal with that. But last night I was wrestling with this guy probably up until midnight, just trying to get the engine and trans lined up. You can see I got it sitting on some blocks of wood. I had the trans kind of propped up, and then got it lined up with a clutch, and it took me probably an hour or 2 hours, but it finally just dropped in and got a bolt into it and slowly snugged them down. And it seems to be in good shape so far. So pretty exciting news. I'm glad I got that knocked out. Take you over to this side. Move this box out the way. So I know last video I was talking to you guys about the hydraulic throwout bearing and how I thought it wasn't going to be the clearance wasn't right, but I think I just goofed. I didn't know what I was doing, and basically there was a spacer that I need to put in there to get the right clearance. And I'll be honest with you guys, I bought the McLeod clutch and the McLeod throwout bearing. Like I said, it's the first time I've done this. That's what the guy recommended from Jegs. So I took their recommendation, and hopefully it works out to be good stuff. But I will say their equipment and the bolts they provided with the kit, and then even the QuickTime bell housing was just, it's kind of junky, man. The directions, it just, I don't know. I'm not the smartest person, but I read the directions and it just didn't make sense to me. I ended up looking up online how to measure clearance for a throwout bearing, and I was like, dang, man, that's that's my problem. And I wasn't taking the right measurements, right, measuring off the right things. So I that's probably on me to some extent, but I will say the directions were entirely clear. And then, like I said, these bolts fit the bell housing for this section to mate the transmission to the bell housing, and that's the only thing they fit. But they didn't give you enough bolts to mount to use all the bolt holes on the transmission. So it's like, I don't know exactly what's going on or like why that was the case, but it just was the case. That's why I have to go back to the hardware store and get bolts that match up, grade 8 bolts that match up for the rest of the bolt holes. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the throwout bearing. Like I said, I wasn't measuring it right. So just a quick tidbit for you guys. When you're measuring from the clutch fingers to the face of this bell housing flange, you take that measurement and then subtract 150 thousandths is what I did. That was the spec of my throwout bearing. And then you measure from the face of the throwout bearing to the mounting face of the transmission, and you just make that number match. You would adjust your throwout bearing to match that dimension. Hopefully that makes sense. So for example, I put a straight edge here. I measured to the fingers of the pressure plate. I measured, like, we'll say 4.2 inches. And then I put the straight edge on the face of the throwout bearing and measured to the face of the transmission on this side. And I measured out to 4.050 inches, and then made the throwout bearing, made the gap 0 between this and the throwout bearing. Or rather, made the distance between the face of the transmission and the throwout bearing 4.050. So basically what you end up having is a distance of 4.20, and then a distance from this same dimension to the face of the throwout bearing of 4.050, and that gives you your 150 thousandth clearance. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But that's what I did. I watched some videos online on YouTube, and that's part of the reason I'm doing this, is just to help people out, because if I didn't look that up, I don't know, I would have been lost in the sauce, man. And maybe I'm an idiot, I don't know. Down in here, you can see, hopefully, yeah, let me try and zoom you guys in. Let's see if it focuses. Yeah, so you guys can kind of see the throwout bearing down in there, clutch fingers right there, and then the spacer is right there, so you guys can see it. So that's kind of what I was messing up. I didn't have that spacer in there, and then you can see the backing plate right there. Sorry guys, come on. So that's the backing plate, spacer in the center there. Come on, buddy. Spacer in the center there, and then that's my hydraulic throwout bearing, and then that's the actual bearing in the front touching the clutch fingers. Come on, man. Come on, buddy. Sorry guys, it doesn't want to focus. That's painful. All right. But anyway, guys, hopefully you saw it. And that's what worked for me. So I'll probably end up sending the throwout bearing that I have coming back. And that's a mistake on my part, like I said. But I got my clutch lines ready to go. Your bleeder has to be at the top for hydraulic throwout bearings. This is my feed line. This will come from my slave, or my clutch master rather. The fluid will go in, air bubbles will come out this way, and that's why you have the bleeder at the top. And it's basically equivalent to like a banjo bolt. So yeah, that's it guys. I just wanted to give an update while this setup is still outside the car, because my next step is going to be getting it into the engine bay. And you're not going to be able to see any of this. Like, there's no way I could get a camera in there to show you the clutch and the throwout bearing. So my plan is to twist this guy around, lift it up. I'll put the hood in the service position, lift this engine and trans up and over, kind of tilt it sideways, and then kind of twist it around and drop it into the engine bay. Get the trans kind of mounted up. I showed you guys my trans cross member that I'm trying to use. I hope I can use it. We'll just have to see. Truthfully, I don't know if I can or not. Excuse me. I haven't taken any measurements yet, but hopefully I can get away with it. But yeah, that's it guys. I'm going to try and have this guy in the car hopefully sooner than later, and hopefully I can get to building engine mounts. That's probably the biggest, like, not most difficult part, but a difficult part of this build is getting engine mounts put together, because no one in the aftermarket that I've seen makes them. So a guy at Levels Performance did it, but I figured I might as well spend the money on a welder and build them myself. But I think what I will end up doing is once I do get my engine mounts built, I'll consider posting them for sale for a couple $100 if people want to buy them. You know, it's more so just to get people to do the swap as opposed to like trying to make money off these things. But I ain't gonna lose money on them. But I definitely would rather have like available engine mounts for people to get into. You know, I would have bought them if they were available. So, but that's it for now, guys. I hope this helps some of y'all out, provide some content for you guys. But I just wanted to share this as a big moment in this whole engine building thing, right? Engine and trans is one piece. So anyway, guys, if I don't talk to you, have a good weekend, and then hopefully I'll have this in the car soon.